It's Will Sean Podcast. The internet cried out for two more blowhards, and they courageously answered that call. Armed with the weapon of wit, each week they're joined by guests to discuss movies, television, pop culture, and anything else that's pissing them off. Take it away, boys.
I'm Will Link.
And I'm Sean David.
And this is Will Sean Podcast.
With super clean and sparkly teeth, fresh from the dentist. How you doing, Will?
So it was Thanksgiving last weekend. Of course, when this episode's up, that'll have been 2 weekends ago.
That's fine.
But it was Thanksgiving last weekend.
Well, you know what? Sometimes it's better to live in the past.
I got so much done Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
I finished the first, kind of rewrite of my book.
Yes.
My great novel, the next great American novel.
Okay.
I saw 5 movies in the theater.
Jeez.
I mean, I got a lot done.
I mean, you know.
This was the most productive weekend. I went to the bar.
To the bar?
Yeah, I got a lot done. I watched a lot of Simpsons episodes.
Oh, you never seen those before.
This was a very good weekend. For once in my miserable existence, I'm coming to you in this segment of the podcast on a high note.
All right, let's see if we can tear that down over the next hour.
Oh, I'm sure we can. So what's going on in the world of Will Sean Podcast?
I just want to, hope everyone survived their Thanksgivings if you had to travel to be with family.
Half our listenership is dead.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. But now, winter is coming, so you better get your jackets out, lock the doors, load the gun, and pray. Yep. Maybe it's just best we hibernate till after the winter's finished. But while you're doing that, you may want to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes.
Yeah.
Make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on a thing called Twitter, I'm told exists. So you may want to do that.
Twitter.
Yeah.
It's a great site for great people.
Well, listen. Greatness has not been thrust upon me.
Is there anything else we have to say about the podcast? We were having some problems. The problems are resolved, right?
It works. If you guys have had any trouble accessing episodes, email us, but everything seems to be in order unless you're trying to go to the willseanpodcast.com site, but that'll get fixed by the time this goes up, so.
Any former guests do anything amazing?
Jake Weissman and Matt Ingebretson had their first day of shooting today on their Comedy Central show.
Yeah, they were guests.
Yeah. So good for them. Congratulations. Moth and the Flame will be playing at one of these major music festivals.
But we don't know which one?
No, it's not Acoustic Christmas, but it's another, either San Francisco or New York, one of these.
Oh, is it the Jingle Ball?
It's not Jingle Ball.
New York?
No, it's not Jingle Ball. It's another one. But I heard some radio ad, and Moth and the Flame was on the lineup.
Good for them.
Yes, I hope they're enjoying that house in the scary hills east of East LA.
Jesus, that's one of our weirdest episodes. And TV's Nick Wexler is back on TV.
Yes, you can catch him on Chicago PD.
Yeah, I'm sure he's glad we're plugging that.
Or he'll be peeing the D out of Chicago.
He does that well. Who's our sponsor this week?
Obamacare. Sign up while you still can. Supplies are limited. Act now.
Hey, I just got off of Obamacare.
Oh, good for you. You're lucky.
I know.
Yeah, you're lucky you're not a coal miner in West Virginia.
Yeah, I know. They're so fucked.
You can die of the black lung.
They're so fucked, these people.
They don't know yet.
You know what? I've lost all sympathy for the little man, the common man.
That's it. You're becoming a Republican now. Fuck them. Pick themselves up by their bootstraps.
Okay, on the show this week, oh my God, we're going to talk about Trump again, but we're going to talk about it in terms of pop culture.
Haven't we done that already?
No. We talked about it in terms of terror before. Now it's in terms of
we're on to the acceptance stage of the grieving process.
Exactly. We're going to get through this. Together.
No, we won't.
Then the Potter universe. It's expanding.
Well, until it just contracts and kills us all.
We will discuss. And I went to Vegas. I went to a club. I'm not really a club guy. We'll get into it. But first, we are very excited to have with us today, let's hope I don't butcher her last name suddenly, Sarah Klegman.
Nailed it. Got the ch.
Nice.
Wait, where was there a ch?
It's like a Klegman. There's like a Klegman.
You just wait to say Challah.
It's a Challah. Yeah, it all goes together. I actually have anxiety about saying my full name. Because I always hawk a loogie into the KL more than other people.
All right then. Well, Sarah Klegman.
Yeah, solid start.
You can't,
Loogies.
You can't say your name without spitting, apparently.
Exactly. That's how I like it.
That's how you know you're doing
So
it right.
you're our second Sarah in a row.
It's fine.
Yeah, just pointing that out there for attentive listeners.
Thanks.
So before we get started, into why you're here,
We have
Yeah.
a
one of the
Klegman
reasons
and a
you are
Klegman.
here is because you make delicious challah bread,
Yeah.
which I was lucky enough to sample some of. You have your business Challah Hub.
It's true.
That's how you know he's a goy. He says challah bread.
It's but still, I mean, the passion is there.
Oh, I can't. I just have to say challah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe people don't know.
Okay.
Maybe listeners don't know. I know what it is.
Well,
knows.
you're honorary Jew.
I'm honorary Jew.
At least you didn't say Challah.
No.
People say Challah.
Well, people are idiots.
Yes. I mean, I support everyone who wants it, no matter how they pronounce it.
It's a thought that counts.
Yeah, but
But
it's not.
before we get into that,
Sure.
I always like to get the guest's origin story. Where are you from?
Well, I was born in Portland, Maine. Spent about no time there, so I have no memory. But I grew up in northern Michigan, Traverse City.
In the glove?
Yeah, in the glove.
You're a Youper.
Not the UP.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with the UP people, except,
They're terrible.
yeah. No, they're fine. But they're sort of like,
Fucking Lansing.
it's like Canadians meets like Texans, and they like casseroles.
And they're all blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm from Traverse City, Michigan, which is a fantastic little vacation town. Michael Moore and Larry Charles started a film festival there, and then they started a comedy festival with Jeff Garland. Yeah. It's adorable and awesome. Grew up there
In Trump's America.
in pre-Trump America.
Okay.
We are the cherry capital of the world, my hometown.
Okay.
Of the world?
Oh, we have a festival. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Sometimes if they run out of cherries, rumor has it they import from Washington. Tell no one. But we have a festival and it's a big deal. So I grew up there doing a bunch of theater stuff and journalism stuff and baking challah with my mom. And then I went to, how deep are we going?
How deep do you want to get?
Okay, that's what she said. I'm sorry. You said I could swear, Sean.
That wasn't a swear. That was just a blasphemy.
Okay, good. Wait, is that not? He's giving me the eyebrow raise. That means it's okay. All right. So, after that, I went to Western Michigan University for one semester.
Home of the Fighting Aardvarks.
I don't know. I think it's Broncos.
Okay.
But I would like aardvarks better. Mostly because I actually, in this moment, I cannot visualize an aardvark. Is it like an anteater?
Not exactly, but kind of.
Yeah.
It's like snouty.
Yeah, it has
Snouty and scale and like shelly.
No,
So-
aardvark doesn't have a shell.
Then what am I thinking of?
You're thinking of an
Anteaters.
anteater. Or a pagolonia.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a pagalo.
You're just
yes.
making up things now.
So WMU.
Okay, let's
So WMU. Okay, so the Broncos. I had a full ride scholarship for performance theater, and then I watched Boogie Nights in a film class, and I was like, I have to go to film school.
So I like that you saw Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
It was like, here I come,
Yes,
Hollywood.
yes.
Yeah.
That
Maybe
was
in the back of a limo with a camera.
that was literally. I need some roller skates and a steady cam.
Well, had you ever been out here at all? Had you ever spent any time out of Michigan?
Yeah, well, when I was, like a senior in high school, I was talking at this bar. And this, as you do when you're a senior in high school.
In northern Michigan.
In northern Michigan. No, my boyfriend at the time was in a sketch troupe. And one of the girls in the sketch troupe, she heard me talking at the bar and she's like, excuse me, I just auditioned for this voiceover role and I didn't get it, but you would be perfect for it. And apparently these guys who are like old school Hanna-Barbera guys and like sort of like Disney dudes, they started their own animation studio.
In northern Michigan?
In northern Michigan. They had like a vacation office.
Okay.
And so I was like, 16, 17?
16
Probably
going on
17.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the time, I wanted to be an actor. And so I was like, I will find these people. And so I just marched into their office one day and I was like, hi, so I was told I have the perfect voice for this role.
Yeah.
And they're like, did someone send, do you have an appointment? And I'm like, no, I was told. So ignorance worked. But so I voiced this pilot with them. And then when I went to film school, they needed someone to like be their coordinator for their company. So they had an office in LA, so they would fly me out to LA. And before the Oakwoods, what is it called now? They like changed the name of the Oak. It's like Toluca something classy.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that where all the people come out here when they all?
Yeah, there's like Murphy beds and like moms and daughters in like matching sweatsuits.
Like Rick James died there or something.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah.
All right.
That's cooler.
Well, he was with a mom and a daughter at the same time.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
I did that. So I had like a taste of LA. And then, these guys were awesome. And they were like, when you graduate film school, you have a job with us. And I was like, great. So when I graduated film school, I came out here and I worked in the animation world for a little bit.
TV animation or feature film?
TV animation, like the Disney guys.
Okay.
They used to do this thing. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but
Darkwing Duck.
No, I wish.
Oh, Darkwing Duck was great.
The Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
So they used to. I don't know if they still have this. This was like 7-8 years ago. They used to do like Phineas and Ferb After Dark, where like all of the animators in the Disney animation building would like. They made like I'm gonna get someone fired. They made like a tiki bar out of this like unused cubicle.
But it wasn't the workroom in Disney animation.
No, it wasn't.
Do you know about the workroom?
I don't.
I'll tell you about it later.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I was like, a freaking teenager, like, on the roof of Disney and
right perched on the top of the hat.
Right at the top, hearing all of these absurd stories. But so after I did that, I got an internship at this comedy company.
I wanted to get to that.
Oh, the dark comedy
So
past.
you were like a comedy talent manager?
I was.
So what did that entail? Like, you have to deal with a lot of comedians. That must have been hilarious.
So funny. No, actually, I became a talent manager at the age of, I started managing baby clients when I was 20.
Typical Jerry Maguire.
Oh, yeah, I was like, the whole suit, didn't wear suits at the time. TJ Maxx dresses, leather shoes. No, but it was great. I started as an intern and sort of climbed the ladder and went from like receptionist to, assistant to like, junior manager. And eventually,
David Geffen.
David Geffen. I became David Geffen. And right now my voice might sound like my old voice, but you guys can't see this, but I actually look exactly like David Geffen right now. But yeah, no, it was amazing. I'm super proud of everything I did. I loved all my clients. I looked after some really fantastic people.
People we would know?
Well,
But were these mainly stand-up, or were you trying to get them roles on shows or movies or?
So I represented mostly stand-up comedians, some writers, some directors, some actors, but like 99% of my clients were stand-up. So if we want to go notable, Hal Sparks. I was on Jim Brewer's team for a while, who I love. He took me to this like crazy metal festival in Germany one time, and as a tiny Jewish girl, I was like, "This is amazing! I'm terrified.
Let's get out of here.
Let's leave."
Hit a brewer.
Yeah, but
let's go.
He helped me understand like what metal is all about, and now I'm like, I get it. But Jim Brewer, for a minute,
certain top, carrot.
No.
Okay.
No. No vegetable clients.
No vegetable clients?
No. This amazing kid, which he's like sort of grown up now. His name is Joey Bragg. I signed him when he was like 12. Yeah. Now he's like a star on Disney and he's amazing.
So it sounds like you really liked working with these people.
I loved them.
So why'd you walk away from it all?
That's a good question. A handful of reasons.
Brewer, Jim.
Brewer, no, he was are you kidding? You know what? It's funny. My clients that I love and Alonzo Bowden, and I feel like I need to mention other people. But
they're all listening.
Lane Boosler's, everyone's gonna listen. She got me a tea set. It was very exciting. I couldn't be myself. There was a moment. I've always been creative, and sort of the thing that made me become a manager was my mentor at the time. She gave me Bernie Brillstein's book, and Bernie Brillstein and Brillstein Gray. And I think that it was like someone look up the actual title, but it's like, you're no one until where did I go right is the main title. And then the subtitle is like, you're no one until someone wants you dead or someone hates you or something like that. And Bernie Brillstein, his story as a manager is, he's the guy that like discovered Lorne Michaels and Jim Henson and like all of these incredible people. And from what I read in his book, it seemed like he had a very creative, collaborative relationship with these people. And I was like, I want that. And that's just not what the business is these days anymore. It's really hard to be a creative voice from a representation standpoint.
Is it because you're spending so much time just trying to get these people work and get them booked on things or get them business so that you get paid as well, or?
I was like salary, and then you get bonuses based on what you bring in.
Okay.
But I mean, honestly, like everyone who was close to me knew that like eventually I would end up on the creative side, but I was like, no, I understand the creative mind and I understand the business side, and so I have a duty to defend the good hearts of the creative people against the evil industry, and I gave so much of myself to that and to my clients and to defending, the honesty of their. I wore a cape.
You were a superhero.
Yeah, I mean, I was
or a
not
Seinfeld
a big
character.
deal. What? No, it's not. What did you say, Sean?
The guy with the cape.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Frank Costanza's attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wears a cape?
What was my father doing with a man with a cape? What was a man with a cape doing with my father? Okay, so
to put a bow on it.
Yeah, let's do this.
So I started paying a lot of attention to the internet and YouTube stars. And do you guys know Epic Rap Battles of History?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nice Peter, the guy who's like the head of Epic Rap Battles.
Yeah.
So I signed Nice Peter before Epic Rap Battles, before all of this stuff, when he was just like touring the country.
He was just Peter. Oh my God, we had the same joke. I don't know if that's.
I'm editing yours out. It's gonna front run you on that one.
But I remember telling my boss like how big of a deal this was, and like how talented, and
how nice
the internet is the future, and how nice, and they didn't seem to get or value the digital side of it as much as I did and believed in. So I was like, I'm gonna get off this shit.
You were ahead of your time.
This thing Vine is gonna be around for 100 years.
But still, I'm surprised that they were so like kind of closed off to a new.
To be fair, they were all reading the Bernie Brillstein book. So
Yeah.
Okay, so you write.
I do.
I mean, I mentioned your delicious challah bread.
Oh yeah.
Challah, not bread.
Nailed it.
Just challah.
Yeah.
But
holla back, Will.
You brought that to a storytelling show.
Yeah.
In which you performed a story. I performed a story.
Then you broke bread.
And we broke bread. So you are a writer. Have you been performing at a lot of shows like that? Or?
So my like live storytelling career, I haven't really been pursuing it aggressively until probably about 8 months ago. Yeah. I've always, with a lot of the articles that I've written and had published in various internet publications, I think there's a lot of power in verbal storytelling. And so I feel like the majority of my articles that are online right now, you can read them or you can listen to them. So I think maybe like only 2 out of the 4 stories I have on Huffington Post, but they, have audio on them. But I love verbal storytelling, and I just think it's so meaningful. So after recording those pieces, I started doing storytelling shows, and that's really just an absurd passion that I've only recently truly accepted my passion for.
That's great, and there's a great world of that here in Los Angeles.
Oh my God, at that show where we met, like, that was one of the most welcoming experiences. And one of my former clients is Margot Lightman.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Related to Sarah Lightman?
Yeah. No.
But I've done a show with her.
Yeah, I love Margot. She's ridiculously talented. Her new book on storytelling, long story short, everyone should buy. It's incredible. I don't even remember why I mentioned her just then. I got sidetracked of like how fantastic she is. Oh, no. So she said in her book, she was talking about the differences between a stand-up audience and a storytelling audience. And I've never wanted to do stand-up. Like, do not
No,
be mistaken.
neither.
I was never a
Neither
stand-up
have I.
talent manager because I was like, I secretly wanted to. No, it's so difficult and exhausting and emotional. But a stand-up audience is sort of like, and Margot said this much more eloquently in her book. A storytelling audience is supportive and curious,
Yes.
whereas a stand-up audience is like, oh, you're gonna make me laugh, or
Yeah, defensive.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this on the show. We've had many stand-up comedians and improv people and sketch people and storytellers. And we've talked, this is something that kind of we've come back to many times, is the differences between the different kinds of audiences that you encounter in these different shows, and where you can't really mix and match those audiences.
And we've...
Both Will and I performed at shows that are
I've been at
hybrid shows.
Yeah, and it doesn't work as well because I'm not going to get up there and be like, joke.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to make you laugh. Like, I can make you laugh, but
Will,
it's
what
gonna
is your
be like,
LPM? Laughs per minute.
Oh, is that a thing? Is that
Is
a
that a
real
real
term?
thing?
It's a
Is
thing.
that a real industry?
Google it.
You know what I got? I got words per page.
That's a thing.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm the same thing.
No, it's so real. The audiences are so different. The energy's different. And when you try and combine it, it's tough. And for me, like, of course, comedy's always been a thing for me. But I want to tell stories because I want to better the world. I have all these lofty goals. It's fine.
Like, here's also one other difference, is that there's something very different about a bad stand-up set and a bad story being told.
Oh, so real, but both are so sad.
Yes, but in totally different ways.
No, but like when people be like, "Oh my God, you're like a comedy talent manager, like how cool," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's great." But there is nothing more depressing than a terrible stand-up show.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
Well, at least they always have one bringer for the show.
oh my God, it's so real.
So let's talk Challah.
Yeah, Challah,
Challah.
you got it, and then you lost it. No, it's fine.
Well, I'm only...
No, I'm going to sit back and let this
They're
conversation...
not gonna ask me back. It's fine.
I'm only Jewish.
Yes.
Is the joke that he says sometimes.
Not
Don't-
this time, though.
Not this time. Now I see.
I'll let you do it.
Anyway, Challah Hub.
Yeah,
Tell
the-
us about that.
Sure.
Because I tasted this bread. It was delicious.
yes,
But here's what.
It's the lard.
vegan.
Yeah.
Sean's brain just exploded.
It was vegan, and it had. It wasn't chocolate chips. in
Carob
it.
chips.
Carob chips. This was delicious. Now, if you were to tell me, Will, here's some vegan bread with not real chocolate in it, I'd be like,
Fuck you.
Yeah, I'd be like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And I ate like 3 pieces of it. And here's the other thing. My experience with challah bread, challah, not bread,
Nailed it.
is you've given me a complex about this now. Is been at like some parties or like some Jewish event that I don't quite understand what's
Bar
going
bat
on.
mitzvahs. Is that we were trying to think of?
And I've had this, and it's just like, oh, this is good bread. I didn't think of it. This was like a cake.
Wait, it's a babka.
This was.
Once you start getting chocolate chips in there.
And then I went to your website, and oh my god, there was like a s'mores one.
Oh, yeah.
There was some that were like in shapes of things. Like there was like fucking a spider, like a Halloween thing.
You're awesome for looking at our website. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty much bread porn. And I totally made a spider out of challah and a pumpkin.
What was the spider one made out of?
Challah.
It's all challah.
It was just
No,
challah.
but
It
like,
was just
there anything
black.
in it?
All right, I'll give you a secretly. Usually we try and do like natural coloring. Like for our mint chocolate chip challah, I'll use like spinach leaves.
Are they all vegan?
Our base recipe now is vegan.
Okay.
The majority of our recipes are vegan. We still have like jalapeno cheese challah.
Just
wanna
challah.
eat
What do you?
that.
Oh, we spell it like you think we spell it.
Yeah.
I want to eat that now.
It's ridiculous. But most of our stuff, is vegan.
Now, what made you? Did you just know you were good at making this, and like, how did this come about?
And can I
Okay.
order some for Shabbos?
Yes, and very soon. Well, you know that it's just gonna be like, you know that dream that Simba had when like his like spirit guide, the guy with the blue butt, like came to him and was like, Simba. So I had a similar experience with
Rafiki?
challah. Yeah. That never happened. I'm sorry. It wasn't spiritual. I grew up baking challah with my mom.
But okay, here's the thing. A lot of people grow up baking.
But your mom wasn't
things.
making jalapeno cheese challah.
No,
Yeah,
I got weird with it.
A lot of people bake things and they're like, oh, I make pretty good cookies. But
Yeah.
they're not like, I'm going to open up a cookie store. So at what point did you say like, wait, I could make money off of this?
Yeah, well, I kept baking all throughout my grown-up life, and even when I was a manager, people would sort of laugh, and I never really understood why it was so funny. But I would march into my office, skirt, suit, and all, and be like, "Hi guys, I have a meeting coming up, and I made some challah bread," and everyone's like, "That's so weird. You bake bread from scratch, but you're also like." Executive lady, and so I always loved it. And
You can have it all.
You can have it all. You can have it all. One time, a couple years ago, I was at a brunch and I was showing off pictures of challah that I had made. And this girl, this woman, she saw the pictures and she goes, "I will pay for your brunch if you teach me how to bake challah." That woman is Alina Chalitman. She is now my business partner. She's this fucking badass woman who she's German and she's Russian and she speaks 1,000 languages and she knows everybody and she's just like incredibly accomplished, brilliant woman. So I went over to her apartment and I taught her to bake challah. And she started asking me, because she's also like an entrepreneur and knows everything and everyone, and she's, if you don't understand by now, I think she's fantastic. She asked me, what else I had put in challah. And I was like, I don't know, like chocolate chips, like cinnamon, like whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, have you ever done
Borscht.
anything like crazy, right? Borscht. And I was like, I don't know, let's try it. So we started putting weird stuff in challah. I think one of the first things that we did was probably jalapeno cheese. And then we started sharing on our own personal social media networks, what we were doing. Facebook. Well, Facebook is a website.
Started by a
where
nice Jewish
people
boy in
have-
Harvard.
Never heard about this. Hey, not so nice Jewish
Yes,
boy.
I mean, the movies just made it, but yeah. So we started posting and people got excited. So we started posting more. And then Alina, one day, we were standing in the kitchen and she was like, "Hey, Sarah, we should
We got 7,000 loaves of bread. You're going to sell one of these.
She was like, "Why don't we start an Instagram?" And I was like, "All right." So we started an Instagram, and then we started a website where we shared these recipes. And then people were like, "We want to taste this." So we started having tasting events around town where we would take over like hotels or beach houses, and we would make like 40 different types of bread. And we would get these grants from like various Jewish foundations or where it's
What?
The Jews go deep and they're amazing, and I love them. But so we would get, these little grants to do these cool events. And then we decided, right before Uber really launched Uber Eats, we did we had a partnership with them that we called #holiday. I'm going to say that again. Holiday. Okay.
I see what you did there.
That's what we did. And it was fantastic. We sold hundreds of challahs in a matter of hours. And at that point, we were like, there's dough to be made. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
So you're making
You're making dough.
We're making dough.
You're making bank off this bread.
I mean,
Now, so it's in demand, because that was the next thing I was going to say, because I had it, and look, I had preconceived notions about challah, and I ate this bread, and I'm like, I would rather have this loaf of bread than like a cake.
Yes.
Like it was better than the cake.
yes.
So, because cake's a little overrated.
Not a cupcake, though.
Cupcakes are good. I like pie, but I love this challah.
Thank you. Ooh,
Now-
pull quote.
So, but I was thinking like I would eat this. So, are you finding that there's like markets that you have to break into that you?
He says,
like, are there
will non-Jews buy any?
Basically, is that?
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Actually,
Challahs could be the new cupcakes.
It could be.
I mean, it's sort of. I mean,
Sprinkles.
It is. We have the market cornered on Weird Challah. No one's really doing what we're doing. I mean, we're launching in a couple months a subscription-based home delivery service, which is targeted obviously at Jews for Shabbat, right? You pay X amount of dollars a month, you get every Friday, you open your
Yeah,
door.
like-
But non-Jews They love this stuff because we're super accessible. We're not religious. It's traditional bread, but if you look
And
at
it's
like
delicious. That's all that really matters.
Exactly, so real. And also, we have like inappropriate captions on social media, and we do weird events like Challah Hub After Dark.
Well,
We
let
do
me ask you
erotic
this, on
challahs.
Actually, it's funny you should mention because there's an art.
Literally 2 loaves of bread.
I mean, that's like on the like minimal side. I made Darth Vader out of challah, spiders, you said, pumpkins. But December, the first week of December, there is an exhibition at Think Tank Gallery downtown called The Future. You should look it up. But basically, I'm making like sexy challahs for that.
Sexy
So they're going to be
challah.
shaped like inappropriate things.
It's everything I've ever wanted in food.
so
Deliciousness and
Dick-shaped bread.
erotica.
Oh, yeah.
You had a
Just the
Darth
beginning,
Vader
Sean.
one, you said?
Oh, yeah, for May the 4th.
Oh, my God. We should get a Darth Vader challah to bring to Rogue One.
That's a lot of bread.
That's a lot of bread.
No, it's not that big. I mean, it's like,
There's a lot of bread for me and him to sit there eating during a movie.
guys, it's vegan.
Do you ever do a segula challah?
I don't even know what that means. What is that?
That's a tradition on a certain weekend of the year where you bake a key into the challah, and then whoever... Yes. So you know about the key challah. My mom
I
always
do.
asks me, I keep losing apartment keys every year because my mom needs keys to bake in her challah.
Why does she use actual keys?
Because then you're supposed to actually find the key. Like, it needs to be a real key, or else the magic doesn't work.
Jewish Matt, it's unreasonable, Sean. It's unreasonable.
Okay,
I know
well,
my mom has like 7 keys in my apartment
let me
now.
ask you this. Are you ever thinking of opening up a storefront for this?
So-
Because that might, it's...
Because Will be there every week
Well, because here's the
for a
thing.
happy hour.
Like, I know we all, we just do everything on our computers, blah, 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 blah. But
Says the man with no Facebook.
I feel like this is also the kind of business that if it popped up in a little neighborhood, I don't know, in like some
In a little
fucking
village of Atwater.
I was about to say some fucking place like Atwater Village or something. Everyone, like the hipster idiots, would go crazy for this.
First of all, we respect the hipsters, especially because they eat our challah. Second of all, nail on the head. I mean, we've done that before. We took part in the LA Bread Festival. Yes, there are enough people in Los Angeles still eating carbohydrates to have a festival for bread. We did the East Side Food Festival.
Not the West Side.
Not the West Side.
Fuck
The
those
West Side,
people.
yeah, they definitely don't do carbs. But yeah, I mean, we've done a handful of pop-ups, but honestly, brick and mortar is not our immediate business model. We've been asked a lot.
Works better when you throw it in an Uber and have a stranger deliver it.
No, but we're not even partnering with Uber on our own because, and I say this with the utmost respect, and Uber probably won't listen anyways. They weren't the best to work with.
No. I know a guy who's working for Uber Eats right now. It's a fucking nightmare. Last night, he had to bring a sandwich at 3 a.m. to Lucas Haas's house. And guess what Lucas Haas tipped him? $0. Fuck you, Lucas Haas. You're the enemy of the podcast. But Lucas Haas should order some challah bread.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So if the people want to get some challah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they're listening to this right now, they're salivating.
Oh my God, they're just
all this
thinking
bread.
about it. They just
Or-
slice a loaf.
Or for our Midwestern listeners, they're like, what the hell bread is this?
Yeah.
Where can they go and find out about it?
Nowhere. I'm going to say that again so I don't pop the mic. Nowhere. No, the only place right now that you can get Challah Hub Challah is when we do special events. But because we're launching home delivery in a couple months, what you can do is you can go to our website, challahhub.com, CHALLAHHUB.com, and you can sign up to be notified once delivery becomes available. We're going to do what we're calling our beta challah test, where we're going to select a really small group of people to go through the subscription process for like a month or so. They'll get a significant % off for life, and then each challah will come with a card that's like, kvetch to us. Which means like bitch to us in Yiddish, which is like, how is the ordering? How is the delivery? So we're going to evolve from there being customer first. So sign up on our website and we will eventually put challah in your face.
Yeah. In the meantime, like you live in the neighborhood, can we just come to your place and pay you to make us bread? Can we sit there and pay to watch you make us
This is getting
bread?
weird, Will. Will
Challah
link
baking-
everyone.
Challah baking is a 4-hour process. So you're awfully determined.
No, you don't really have to answer that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm going to. No, but maybe. We do special events. We do a lot of stuff right now. Like we will do baking sessions with
4 hours.
Yeah, well, it's not like an active 4 hours. That's just gotta rise.
Don't worry, there's a lot of time to drink wine and check Twitter.
Yeah, that's the move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, record a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So soon, and you can follow us on Instagram to get bread porn right in your feed. But yeah, super duper soon we are going to be launching
say that
subscription.
website one more time.
ChallahHub.com.
And if you are a good listener of the podcast, you have already been to ChallahHub.com because we will have a link to it on our Facebook page.
Ooh, but go to our Instagram. We have like a robust fan base.
Go to the Instagram
of
too.
carb
Is there a
lovers.
link to the Instagram on the website?
You cannot avoid the Instagram
All right,
on the
there you go.
website. It is in your face, just like we want the Challah to be.
Perfect.
Yeah, we have a music video coming out later this year. It's not a big deal.
You know, I bet would enjoy your challah bread.
Segue man.
Donald Trump.
How dare you?
Can we burn through this quick? I can't talk about this man anymore.
Challah for Trump.
Okay, next
But only
week.
for Ivanka and Jared, because, Shabbos.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make a disgusting flavor challah for her. It'll be like,
You could poison the challah and save the nation and give us Mike Pence as president.
I want to say such nasty things. I know you said
you're
I
a
swear
nasty-
Sean, but this
you're
is
you're a
it's
nasty
so
woman.
You guys heard about? I don't even want to talk. Why? I want to talk about Sean. Not Sean. I want to talk about.
I'm Sean.
You're Sean, not Pence. The Pence thing with the tampons and women mailing him.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Oh, it was fantastic. I'll just put that in a challah, send it his way. Please don't air that part. My business partner will be so upset.
Tampon and challah. I know people would pay good money for that. But anyway. I want to talk about this
Yeah,
because...
but they got weird fetishes.
Well, not me. I wouldn't pay good money.
Your friends.
My friends. Oh, my friends have weird fetishes. That's more normal. Okay. So, here's what's happening. The president can't take a joke.
President-elect.
Yeah, thank you.
President-elect.
Not the president. President-elect.
One president at a time.
Yeah.
And this is a problem that I guess I don't know why I didn't foresee this and all the other horrible problems, but this is a weird and unique problem. So SNL, they did a big Trump sketch, as they're going to do for the next 4 years because they're SNL.
Unless he fucking outlaws it.
And he went nuts on Twitter complaining about SNL. Now, over the years, SNL has made fun of everyone.
Yeah.
And you know what everyone does? They go, they wave it off. They don't say anything. They don't do
To
anything.
be fair, Margaret Thatcher did not like her impersonation.
Is that...
No, it's not true.
That's not true at all. But look at Sarah Palin, for example. They destroyed her in SNL, but she never once was like,
because
fuck you, Tina Fey.
Yeah, because they invited her on the show the day after the week after Tina Fey did the impression, which, in my opinion, was not what good political satire is supposed to do, because it only helped her awareness. But that's a whole other thing.
No, I think the Tina Fey thing also kind of destroyed her, because Sarah Palin never said, I can see Russia from my house, but everyone thinks Sarah Palin said, I can see Russia from my house, because Tina Fey said it. So...
the good old days.
But I mean, the thing is, but people have made jokes about Obama, and not just SNL, but other things. People have made jokes about, fucking Gerald Ford's whole presidency was basically ruined because Chevy Chase would fall down. But he never was like, meh, SNL.
Well, he didn't have Twitter.
I mean, okay, let me ask you this first, Sean. Can this sustain itself for 4 years? Can we literally have 4 years where someone is going to go after, every late night host or everybody who ridicules
One
him?
of two things are going to happen. One, he's going to just get too busy to pay attention to this crap.
I'm kind of worried he's not going to be busy, because I'm kind of worried that he's going to have I don't know whether I want him to have a laissez-faire attitude with running the nation or not, but anyway, continue.
I feel what's going to happen is this crystallizing attitude, So I'm thinking of we've already seen it with Samantha Bee and John Oliver. Not that I'm criticizing it, but I think there's going to be this very oppositional, even more so than what we saw with Jon Stewart during the Bush presidency. where it's going to become
Bush, who could take a joke, by the way.
but also Bush, who had
Well, he
other
didn't
shit,
get most
who had
of the
other
jokes.
shit going on too. You know, that Jon Stewart was outraged, but I think this is going to be actual anger. And what I'm actually worried about, and Sarah, you could probably speak better to this, is this curdling of the comedic sensibility, where it moves away from being comedy and just being not angry ranting, but everything is just so tinged with emotion that I don't know what this is going to transform itself into. But you already see it with John Oliver and Samantha Bee, and what's this going to look like 2 years from now? Is it just going to be the anti-Trump show every 2 weeks, where you have these oppositional factions that are just on television to scream and rant about the government? And how effective will that be? You're not going to win over. You're
I don't
just going to
think
be
it'll
preaching.
be effective at all.
No, you're just going to be preaching to the. And Jon Stewart had this problem where he ended up preaching / joking to the converted, and I think we're just going to see a further version of that with the next couple of years.
For those of you at home, the temperature in the room just dropped like 10 degrees.
Well, I can't. Yeah. But so that's where I think, and I'm worried about where pop culture, at least in the. There's been a lot of articles like, what will late night comedy do exactly because of this? Because I know they're not going to walk on eggshells and they're not going to censor themselves.
No, if anything, all Trump is doing is emboldening them more. I mean, the comedian mind. I mean, if they're
You
like...
speak for the comedian.
But
Oh my
seriously,
God.
what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, what do I think it's going to mean for pop culture and for comedy?
A lot of dark albums.
A lot of. I mean, look, the storytelling show that we were at. The week that he won, even now, you cannot go to a show of any kind without someone commenting on it. And trends in pop culture and the news, that's not unusual.
You mean the lying media?
The media. But you know what? I'll use an example. I was at a Nerdist show, Andy Kindler's show at Nerdist last week, and TJ Miller was on the show.
Of Scooby-Doo fame. No, sorry, Yogi Bear fame.
Yes, thank you. Phew. And Silicon Valley, and fantastic. He came up and he did, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes. I would say maybe that whole time there was 3 jokes. He spent most of his time on stage talking about how, the power of Trump's slogan was not to be underestimated, and talking about how we the sort of reality of the darkness. I think a lot of the comedians in the space that I've seen so far. Oh, go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What's worse? Because that's, we're in the very immediacy of this. Like, this just happened.
Right.
Well, your ass is still bleeding.
Now, if 2 years from now, what's worse? If we have to keep hearing people get up and not be as funny as they could be because they're trying to work through the horrors of a Trump administration, or that we have all gotten so complacent in a Trump administration that we're like, oh, this is normal. So
I went to
joke about-
re-education camp this weekend, and
or like it's back to like, the portions on airline food. Like, I mean, like,
I feel like the difference is that a lot of these comedians are minorities, and they're.
Well, TJ Miller is.
I mean, of course, he's the hardest minority, the white man. No, but in so many ways, whether it's Morgan Murphy did like a fantastic set that night, and she's not most female comedians are not your traditional
white Jewish guys.
Right. But I feel like the difference is with Bush. With Bush, it was funny for longer. With Trump, there's more fear.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't like Bush, but I also wasn't like...
Threatened, at least not. Yeah.
And I didn't think he was somebody totally unqualified. I think he's somebody who also gave a shit. Like, that's the big thing with Trump. I don't think he really gives a shit. Where Bush, I didn't like Bush's policies, but I never doubted that George Bush was doing what he thought was best for the country. Where Trump, I feel, is just doing what's best for Trump.
Here's what I think will happen, that I sort of hope will happen, but I also think might be like of detriment to the comedy space, but who gives a damn? I think that more comedians are going to acknowledge the fact that this is an important thing to be talking about. And they might not have the perfect angle. They might not have the perfect joke. But it is important to keep talking about
Well,
it.
let's see how that works when they want to go out on the road to some of these, red
Oh my
states.
God, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
States.
But all these red states don't have their liberal pockets. Like Bill Maher always says, when he goes to play all these shows in the South and stuff, like he gets great audiences and stuff, and I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Because these people are desperate to get to anything.
Yeah.
That's kind of, and that's why I'm worried we're always going to start losing elections now, because all the people are moving out of those states, and the Electoral College is a nightmare. But
This is when we need comedy the most, in my opinion. I think that's what the whole creative community agrees.
Is this election also a proof that it doesn't matter? That the voice of the comedian doesn't make a difference?
Do you think that?
I'm starting to think that.
That doesn't make a difference?
Yeah, because the comics are...
All the memes in the world couldn't save us.
Well, yeah, I mean, all these late night people, all these people that are firmly in the zeitgeist, all told us how terrible Trump was, and nobody gave a shit.
Well, you should be watching CBS and NCIS. That's where the real Trump, that's where real America is, Will.
One last question. There are right-wing celebrities.
True.
Like 3.
This is like their time to shine. Like John Voight's going to be in everything. You know?
If rolling your eyes made a sound, it would be so loud right now.
And then, okay, I just briefly want to talk about this. Kanye West. He went on some,
God.
He went on some pro...
Yeah, but I don't know if we
Trump-
can do, in light of recent events, I don't even know if that is even legitimate anymore.
Where are we at with Kanye West?
He's been in the hospital for over
now
a
that I
week.
don't work for E anymore, I'm like...
He's still been in the hospital out of sight for over a week. His doctor was the one that called it in to have him forcibly taken into the hospital. He was having
What's Kim saying?
Kim's been by his bedside apparently the whole time he's at UCLA. So anything that Kanye said, in the week leading up to this, I would not put any stock into, because it's getting to the point where it's actually a sad situation now, and we don't know what's going on. Whether it's drugs or schizophrenia or manic depression or something.
Schizophrenia?
It could be all, so I wouldn't really put any stock into what Kanye said in the last month.
You know what?
But he still thinks Bill Cosby innocent.
Well, that's the thing. It's like... So has Kanye always has this been a slow mental breakdown?
Could have been.
He went to my film school, Columbia, and his dropout album was about leaving
West
said school.
Michigan.
Not Western Michigan. No, the film school that I transferred to,
Okay.
just Columbia in Chicago. People are like, "Oh, Columbia, New York," and I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, do you like New York?" And I'm like, "I love it." And I just don't say that.
My problem was I already hated Kanye from all the Kardashian nonsense I had to put up with.
I liked him before that though, and the Kardashian stuff just made me so sad. And then now this stuff just
Late
like,
registration is just a banger.
Okay, Harry Potter.
Moving on.
Potterverse.
Let's move to a
There was no
fictional
transition.
world.
I had no transition.
Let's move from real tyrants to fictional tyrants.
Oh, you gave me a transition
What?
just now.
Yeah.
So there was this new Fantastic Beasts movie. Have you seen it?
no.
That's okay.
Okay.
We saw it.
That's fine.
It's fine. Like, the movie is fine.
It's a big old prequel.
Eddie Redmayne, I'm not big on Eddie Redmayne. I think Eddie Redmayne is the most quiet over actor that there is. Like, I feel like he's never, well, except in Jupiter Ascending, but other than that,
He was transcended that movie.
but like, he's like always like kind of like,
Because his face is rubber, so he can do a
can
lot
you
with his face.
describe what I'm doing? He's like,
He's like a little
everything is-
squishy Muppet with
I
red
don't think I
hair.
could describe what you were just doing.
what was I like? But that's what he does.
It's like a limp
He doesn't
wrist,
move his
back
body
and
a
forth
lot,
eyebrow
but
situation.
his facial expressions are very animated. His
very,
physicality is very rubbery.
his
Jim Carrey-esque?
characters-
Yeah.
Yeah, except Jim Carrey was like, did a
Talking
big
out of
face
his ass.
and was loud. Where Eddie Redmayne's like making big movements and so quiet. I don't know. I'm not that big on Eddie Redmayne. I wasn't big on Eddie Redmayne in Fantastic Beasts. I'll also say this. I find it very curious that this movie, Fantastic Beasts, are you going to see it?
I mean, probably, but I don't care if you have spoilers.
This isn't going to blow anything. But I felt like for a movie called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them,
We knew where to find them.
The villain's storyline has really nothing to do with Fantastic Beasts or Where to Find Them. So it felt like there were these two, and I think this is the big weakness of the film. There are these two stories going on simultaneously. One is like the fun, like title of the movie.
The
and
duck-billed platypus running around, stealing
Yeah.
I
gold.
love duck-billed platypi.
And when I was a child, I used to have a reoccurring nightmare in which I was being chased by a duck-billed platypus through the Museum of Natural History in
That
New
was
York.
me. I used to have a dream that I was a duck-billed platypus chasing a young boy through the Natural History Museum.
you go.
Yeah.
Weird. And then the other thing is like an abused child that's beaten every time he tries to use his magic.
Yeah. So
Aw.
it's
Poor Ezra Miller.
it's a strange. I think it's a strange film. I think the strongest stuff was the Dan Fogler.
You mean the Polish stereotype?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was the best stuff.
Yeah.
That was like I would have rather like I liked him.
Just want him to
more.
open his bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
He can
But
sell your
here's,
Challahs.
Thank you.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is one of like 5 movies they're making.
Yeah.
About
the rare
Fantastic
quintilogy.
So, Sean,
It's actually a trilogy, but they're splitting the last part into 3 films.
so I'm going to ask you this, Sean.
Yes.
Do we need more Harry Potter films, and where will this Potterverse go?
Where will we find it? Okay, so this span of movies, this movie takes place in 1924, and it's going to, J.K. Rowling said it's going to go through 1945.
Is
And-
she writing all of them?
Yes. And so what we are basically going to see is Weimar Germany and World War II as witnessed through the wizarding world. And Grimwald, who is the big baddie of all this, who's kind of the proto-Voldemort and was in many ways his mentor, and the person that Voldemort modeled himself after, is basically Wizard Hitler. And that's what we're going, like him getting this,
God,
what this
Wizard
was in
Hitler.
1924. This was like the beer hall putsch that he got arrested for. So basically, Grimwald's
So
going to write his
she's-
Mein Kampf.
She's
Yeah.
modeling.
This is basically we're getting. So the next 4 movies are going to span all over the globe. There's going to be episodes in Germany and France, and we're going to go to the different wizarding schools. And young Dumbledore is going to become a character in all this.
But is
Ferdius Fig, what's his name? Fantastic
Sigmund
Fuck.
Snide or whatever. What's his name? Scalamander.
Oh, Newt Scamander.
Newt Scamander.
Of course, I'm sure he will be, but I feel like I don't know that he's going to be the prime actor. I feel like they may eventually hand the reins over to young Dumbledore.
This makes me a little more excited. I like
It's
Magic
a 20-year.
Hitler.
It's a 20-year story, which is
You
basically going to
like
be
Magic Hitler.
well, as opposed to regular Hitler, who was
Bring
kind of
McCall somewhere else.
Will Magic Hitler also have a micro penis, or will he accio erecto it?
Someone tweeted J.K. Rowling.
Yes.
We need to find
You know
out.
what? No one with magic powers has a micro penis.
I don't know. What about
That'd be the first thing you'd fix.
What about Dobby? I'm pretty sure he's got a magic penis. So that's basically the long-term plan for all
But
this.
other skills. So.
Yes. Well, you know,
Okay, well let me.
Dobby serves no master.
Yeah.
This makes me more excited about these movies because I like.
We're going to see the world. We're going to see, like, one of the best things about the movie was seeing the way, first of all, like, the American world viewed wizarding.
Well, my favorite, I think, and I tweeted this right after, is it's strange that
hell's Twitter?
I was much more interested in the bureaucracy of the magic world than I was the fantastic beasts in the magic world.
And Miss Watterson from Infinite Jest. Nope, not Infinite Jest.
What are you talking about?
Shit, what's her name? Not from Infinite Jest.
No.
The P.T. Anderson movie.
Inherent Vice.
Yeah, it's all the
Catherine
same.
Waterston.
Thank you. Not Donaldson.
Okay. Sarah,
Yeah.
are you a fan of the Harry Potter movies
Guys.
or books?
I'm a big fan. I even went so far as to dress up in a Gryffindor costume and go to a local bar event that was Harry Potter themed. My mother has a collection of the Harry Potter books in all different languages.
Oh, my.
It's pretty epic. Yeah,
Have you
I mean,
not seen this movie yet?
I have things. I'm not. I don't know, Sean. I don't.
You're waiting for the dough to rise.
That's. I mean, it takes. I said 4 hours, but really, it's like months.
You could have popped out. Fantastic
Come
Beasts.
back in.
Yeah.
Go. It's on my list.
Okay.
But
So you feel, as a Harry Potter fan, you feel like, yes, we can expand this universe. We could have more and more.
I mean, I haven't seen it, right? So, and I also sort of have this like strange loyalty to the Harry Potter verse. you know, independently of that. So I actually sort of have like a weird reluctance to go see the movie because I'm sort of like, but it's not like Harry Potter world. Like
But
it
it's
is it?
Rowling, at least.
Right. But like, is it like,
She wrote this-
like,
yeah.
do they mention Harry Potter in this world?
No, but they
No.
talk about like the Lovegood family, and they talk about Dumbledore.
So like, there's like through lines, right? Yeah.
It is. It's all leading up to it. You're basically, you're 1924.
I mean, I do love the world, right?
Like,
I
no
mean,
one's
like,
mentioning Harry Potter. You know?
Right.
Yeah, Harry
Right.
Potter was not.
It was great grandparents.
But do you think, Sean, it lived up to like the creation of the worlds in the other movies? Or were you like, I see what you're trying to do here,
Well,
J.K.
you know what's
Rowling?
interesting about this one, though?
It's trying to do too many things, yeah.
It incorporates the real world, which Harry Potter doesn't do. They're always in the wizarding world.
Yeah, it was like weird in movie 7 when they're just at a diner. You know,
Yeah.
and like Hermione's wearing jeans and a t-shirt. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, and like this takes place more in that world. But you know what's weird, and why I think it's weird to see Hermione like in jeans sitting in a diner, because even though the Harry Potter movies took place now, technically, they always felt like they took place in other world, other time.
Right.
Like there was it felt like kind of antiquated. I mean, Harry Potter wasn't getting on a cell phone and calling somebody, you know?
He wasn't tweeting.
Yeah. You know, I questioned how much more of the Potterverse we needed until you told me about Magic Hitler, and now I'm much more invested.
Oh, can't wait for the Magic Holocaust.
Yeah, maybe I'll make a statement piece.
But that's what they're going to do, right? There's going to be a Holocaust.
I don't know.
There's going to be like a Muggle Holocaust or something.
Dr. Magicula.
But wait, so it'll exist in a world where there's
It's always been like an echo
World
of
War II,
Yeah.
but also Magic World War II.
Yeah.
Simultaneously.
Yeah.
Like there'll be a Hitler. There's a Hitler in the Harry Potter.
Grimwald, whatever his name is.
Wait, sorry for this dumb question. Are these books?
No, they're all
So
original.
we have no idea
No
what's
idea.
happening.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so J.K. Rowling said that she has her ideal casting for Dumbledore, but she can't say who it is because if it doesn't go through, she doesn't want that person to always feel like, or the person that does get cast to feel like they were always
second best, even though they'll know.
Yeah, we know it's a Hemsworth, a lesser Hemsworth.
Oh, you think it's a Hemsworth? How old is fucking Dumbledore?
Whatever, he's as old as the movie needs him to be.
Because he was a teacher in 1924.
No, I think he was younger. I don't think he was a teacher. Oh no, he
No,
was because they do mention.
'cause they're
he's
like, why
he's a
does
wizard. He
Albus
lives
some-
gajillion years.
Yeah, gajillion.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's going to be someone like, what's his name? Ben Foster is going to get cast or something. No, they got to be British though, so.
Yeah, you got to cast a British Dumbledore.
Cumberbatch.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, that's
Not
what's
the
gonna
right body
be.
type. It's
No,
not the right-
no, not at all. But I wanted, he could like read a phone book and I'd be like, yes.
That's who it's going to be. It's going to be Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch doesn't want to do that. Cumberbatch,
gonna be fighting Johnny
Cumberbatch
Depp.
wants to be Henry V on
Johnny
Broadway.
Depp does not do, what, you take that
I
back.
said he's going to be fighting Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp will lose.
Yeah, he will.
Hey, well, we already know
Well,
that.
we already know that.
He loses.
Oh, I think I just. I think
we
I
just spoil something?
I think I just spoiled something.
Son of a bitch. Damn it.
Staff IMDb.
Okay.
I thought that was something I knew before going in. That's something I knew like weeks before. So I guess I.
But see, I'm also the type of person that like refuses, like I avoid watching the Star Wars trailers because I want to be like so fucking surprised in the theater.
I go to the movies so much that I can't avoid,
You can't avoid
the
it.
trailers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be that asshole next to you in the Star Wars movie that's gonna be like, oh my god,
No, you'd be like,
the
who's
whole
that?
time.
Who's that? Do we know them?
Who's that? Oh my god,
So-
what's happening? This is amazing.
Is she a Jedi?
Yeah.
What's he? What's he?
So this might surprise you all,
Oh,
but I am not a club guy.
I've been waiting for this moment.
I never went through a club phase when people I know they're like, oh, in my 20s I was always at the club. I never was at the club. I could probably count all the times I've been to a club on my fingers. So it was a surprise to all when I found myself at a club in Vegas last weekend. And it shined a light on why I hate them. You know why? Because there is nothing in a club that is genuine. There is literally nothing in a club that isn't a phony experience. It's astounding how phony the whole thing is. And I was able to see this more from my vantage point that usually I'm not at. First, the conversation at a club is all fucking fake. No one can hear a word you say. No one. Thus, you say yes to everything. People were asking me questions. Co-workers, because this was a work thing. People I barely know were asking me things. I was just like, yeah. God knows what I've agreed to. God knows what they think I am in this office now. Because God knows what I was saying. The atmosphere, completely fake. They literally distract you with smoke and lights. That's it. It's all of a sudden they're shooting smoke. And then at one point, confetti just exploded. The whole place exploded. They came in, they covered up all the drinks. And I'm like, what are they doing? And then all of a sudden, confetti, more confetti than I've ever seen in my life. What is the fucking confetti budget at this thing? Do they do this? Is this just a thing they do on Saturday night? Or are they dropping confetti 7 nights a week? What is the club like on a Tuesday night? I digress. So all this is fake. No one wants all this confetti around. The drinks are fake. You're paying like $800 for a bottle that'll cost you like $30 at a fucking CVS. Why? What about that sounds like a good time? Nothing about that sounds like a good time. What evil genius figured out this markup on fucking cheap-ass vodka? The women are fake. All the hosts are wandering around in their underwear, like flirting with you. You can't hear a fucking word they say, so you're nodding at them. But at the same time, none of these women can hide their contempt. That's part of the charm. They're supposed to be miserable. These women, attractive women walking around miserable. No. You know what? You get more reality from going from a strip club because at least they're on the level. You know what you're getting. They know why you're there. But the club, it's like all smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. Are you trying to titillate me? What are you trying to do? And the crowd has convinced themselves that all this is fun. They know it's not. They know it's not fun. They are the fakest of them all. No one finds this fun. And that's why you, clubs, are this week's enemy of the podcast. Go fuck yourselves. Who enjoys this shit? Who enjoys this? Sean, who enjoys this?
Not me.
No.
Nah.
You ever been to a club?
A couple times. It's terrible.
Now, to be fair, I was in a VIP section and everything was paid for. And God knows how much my company paid at this thing. Because there was bottle after bottle after bottle of booze. Jesus Christ. If I wasn't in the VIP section, at one point I left the VIP section to walk among the people because I'm a man of the people. And the people were disgusting. Now, did I dance with some of the people? Maybe. Because some of the people forced themselves upon me.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't complain about it. But I also was like, this is fake. This is phony. Because here's the thing. These people, there are people at the club who, like, there was a guy who he had his girlfriend, like, grinding up on guys because he was trying to get into the VIP section to score free drinks. And it was like, at one point, I'm like,
strategy.
At one point, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty smart. And one point, I'm like, this is disgusting. Yeah, I've never really, I didn't have legitimately, I didn't have a bad time because I was in a very comfortable situation. But I've never had a great time at the club. Who are the people who have a great time at a club? Sarah, have you ever had a good time at a club?
The first thing I want to say is in defense of confetti. I think it is always appropriate to shoot confetti into large crowds of people. Have I had a good time at a club? When I think of evenings that I regret, or evenings when I was wearing dresses that were too tight, so I was wearing like Spanx underneath them and heels that made my back hurt the next day, but pictures that looked fantastic. The club scene is very confusing. I'm all for like getting your butt in the dance floor and just like having fun and being silly and whatever. But if you want to have a nice conversation, you don't go to a club. Like if you want to like have a genuine interaction with someone, you don't go to a club. If you like maybe want to do some party drugs in the bathroom and grind on someone sweaty and then like have like a, fucking Red Bull vodka that's paid for by this guy Jared who's like at the bar next to then you go. But like
I don't even like vodka and Red Bull, and I drink a lot of vodka and Red Bull because I didn't know what else the fuck to
If someone
drink.
orders you a vodka Red Bull, that means like, I want you to stay awake so we can fuck. That's pretty much what vodka Red Bull means.
Well, it was my
how many vodka Red Bulls are your coworkers feeding you?
Well, here's the thing. They had
Like, that's how you know it's on. If someone, like, orders you a vodka Red Bull, you're like, oh, okay.
I don't think I've ever ordered any vodka, because I drink whiskey drinks. But they...
You drink a whiskey drink?
Yeah, I was thinking that. And but I guess that's when you're at the club, you order vodka. Like, that's what the bottles are.
Well, because it's calorie free.
Well, clearly, yeah. It's only distilled grain.
And then there was like Red Bull, and there was like a thing of orange juice. I'm like, I'm not drinking.
You gotta refuel.
I'm not drinking orange juice that just went through the sweaty club in like an open container. So I was like, give me the vodka Red Bull.
I mean, I sort of feel like club scenes are sort of like similar to like the lottery. Like, it's a tax on like the idiots. Like, I personally know women who make a ridiculous amount of money going to clubs with like their hot lady friends, taking pictures, putting it on the internet, tagging whatever club it is, and like helping with bottle service, and like it's I mean, like, good for them. They like make bank on like booty.
Yeah.
But
well, you make bank on booty.
I do make bank on booty.
Yeah.
I've been to a club 5 times. I just counted in my head. 3 times were in Las Vegas. I've only been to Vegas 3 times. But it's like when you're there, people, it's like, where else you going?
What about gay clubs?
Oh.
Because I will also argue for gay clubs.
Then you can make bank on booty.
Wait, I guess it's like I've been to the Abbey.
That's a good club.
So then I've been to a club like 6 or 7 times. I was there twice with gay friends.
You say that very hatefully.
Well, maybe the gay friend I was with I don't particularly like anymore.
Because they're gay?
It's Trump's America, baby.
Da-da-da.
And then the other 2 times was with TV's Nick Wexler. And he didn't want to be at the club. He was there basically because like all his coworkers were there.
So you ended up hanging out with...
And that was on the second episode of this podcast, was when I hung out with Rumor Willis and Zelda Williams. And they were both like, we hate clubs. And Nick was like, I hate clubs. And I said, why the fuck are any of us here? And then we went back to Zelda Williams' house, and it was a good time.
Like, honestly, I feel like if I'm gonna go to a club, which I'm not, I am past this time in my life, but like if I was gonna go, if ever there was a time where I'd be like, yeah, I'm gung ho about going to a club, it'd be because I was like just out of a shitty relationship and or just like ill, so I like could fit into like the slut dress, or like, you know.
But what's the gratification you would get from going to the club? Would it be to dance, to drink, to get attention? Like, what's the
gross people hitting on me?
Just a shame spiral.
Yeah, just a shame spiral.
You know, gross people can hit at you at a regular bar,
and they
too.
do,
Have you been to the Firefox room?
No.
Foxfire room.
I love the Foxfire room.
What is the Foxfire room?
Oh, it's the diviest of dive bars.
I like dive
It's
bars.
on Magnolia and Whitsett.
They have carpet.
They filmed
carpet.
they filmed the movie Magnolia there.
Well, the reason why the carpet is important is because it's just absorbed the stink of 40 years of sad nights at the bar.
Yum.
Here's what I say. You live in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
The 3 of us put on our sluttiest dress, and we go to the Foxfire room one night and just get wasted on cheap liquor.
There needs to be more to this plan.
Can we get popcorn?
We take on fake identities? One time I went to a college party and I pretended to be a French exchange student the entire time. And it worked.
One of the
I'll go as Jared Kushner.
Well, one of the 7 club experiences, I went in my old roommate and writing partner, Jared Garcia, decided to take on a persona, and he told these girls he was a caterer, and he's catered many events hosted by George Clooney, and they bought it.
Oh my God, I would eat that right up.
Yeah. All right, before we go, I always like to end on a weird note.
Where'd you find this?
Yeah. So, Howard Brookins Jr., an alderman for Chicago's 21st district, went on a public tirade about how much he hated the city's squirrel population, that they were getting too aggressive and they were eating through too many garbage cans and the squirrels must be stopped. Well, on November 13th, the alderman found himself in the hospital with a skull fracture after he was attacked by a squirrel. Yes! Squirrel's revenge. The squirrel leapt into the path of his bicycle, wrapped itself in the spokes, causing him to flip over the handlebars, thus fracturing his skull. The squirrel, it was a suicide bomber squirrel, and it was seeking revenge. What do you think of that, Sarah?
That is the favorite story, my favorite story that I've ever heard. I've heard a number of stories.
But this is the best.
Holy shit. That's fantastic. First of all, is this guy, was he not just like an idiot and was like, what's his name again?
Howard Brookins Jr.
Did he like come home and his wife was like, Howard, what happened? And he was like, the squirrels got me. And was she like, Howard, I saw you riding your bike.
Martha, I told you
you fell off for no reason. Nothing happened. And
You
he was
were
like,
drunk.
No.
You were at the Foxfire room.
Yeah, but whoever that squirrel is, whoever that squirrel is, should get like a fucking award. That's
He's dead now.
fantastic.
The squirrel. Well, here's how we know.
The squirrel didn't make it?
Yeah, because he threw himself into the bike. It's
And
suicide bomb.
bomber squirrel.
And I saw a sad photo of the squirrel in the bike.
He took a picture of it?
Yeah, and he
Howard.
tweeted it because he knew he wanted to send a message to the squirrels.
Howard.
Like, yeah, I'm still alive, squirrels. You didn't kill me. One of yours is
I was
dead.
going to euthanize them all.
My
And you
dad,
know-
my dad had a vendetta against chipmunks in our garage in Michigan,
Yeah.
and my mom got an artist to come and paint a dead chipmunk, like a small chipmunk-sized chipmunk, dead.
Was this like a
on the
scarecrow?
steps. No, like it was just for my dad, so he could just like, as he was coming in after parking his car from the garage and walking the steps up to our house, he would see a dead chipmunk and be happy. Now I'm vegan, but at the time it was hilarious.
And on that note, Sarah,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us.
Oh my God, you guys, thank you for having me.
Before we go, one more time, tell everybody where they can find out everything about you.
Oh my gosh. Well, you can go to challahhub.com or follow us on Instagram, CHALLAHHUB.com, for my random storytelling and stories and various internet excitement. You can check out my website, which is sarahkleg.com, or you can follow me on Instagram, which is the same handle, or on Twitter, which is the same handle, or you can find me on Facebook, which actually does exist, Will.
I never heard of it.
And you can find me there. Thank you guys so much for having me. This has been so fun.
Sean,
You can find me on all forms of social media, most forms of social media, at the Sean David.
you'll be back on Twitter.
I will be. Just need to take a little diet.
And you can follow me on Twitter at The Real Will Link. I have no upcoming shows. I haven't been booking shows. I've been writing this book, so maybe that'll get published and my life will change forever. On the show next week, oh my God, I'm gonna butcher his name. Matthew Garucki.
Garucki, sounds good.
He runs the website Drunk Monkeys and the Drunk Monkeys radio podcast. They talk about film and culture, and on the website, it's not just pop culture. There's like literary.
There's fiction and reviews and music
poetry.
and essays, and they do a quarterly and they publish stuff. So we'll have a good conversation next week with him.
And a week after that, we're having Tyler Davis. Sean, tell us who Tyler Davis is.
Tyler Davis he's going to talk to us about, he is a sound engineer, but he has been working steadily at many of the political events that have gone on over the last 18 months. He's been at many rallies. He's got lots and lots of stories about working as a professional sound engineer at these large-scale events. And he is also a lapsed Scientologist. So.
Yes, I want to get into that shit.
Can I just hang out during that recording?
Yes, you can come back, and then we'll.
You can sit
all
with
put
the
on-
other Sarah on the couch.
We got you,
Only one Sarah at a time.
You fight her.
Sean. Okay.
and then the two Sarahs and us will all put on our sluttiest dresses and go to the Foxfire room.
I
and
like
get
this
drunk.
plan.
I like this plan.
I'm in.
All right.
As long as you guys wear my sluttiest dresses.
I will. I'll tell you what. You give me your sluttiest
I'm
dress.
going to have to wax, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't wax.
Good.
And Sarah, then, thank you so much for
Thank
being on
you.
the show for the Will Sean podcast. I'm Sean David.
I'm willing.
We're finished.
We're finished.